A devastating moment, that sudden collapse captured on surveillance video. A wing of the 12-story building crumbles. Then a few seconds later, another portion of the condo complex also falls, leaving a massive pile of dust and debris. Tonight, the scope of the disaster is overwhelming, with fears the rest of the beachside building may come down too. Rescuers are urgently but delicately combing through the rubble.
They are in search and rescue mode. They are trying to identify survivors. I know they have made contact with some, and they are doing everything they can to save lives.
The nightmare happening at 1:30 in the morning. No warning for residents sound asleep. Dozens of rescue units responding.
This is going to be an entire building. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 12 to 13 stories. Most of the building is gone.
Stark images show the building before and after. Officials say there were more than 130 units, at least half of them destroyed. And in many of the condos left standing, the outside wall is now gone. From the beach, you can see inside now empty homes that survivors scrambled to flee in the middle of the night.
Right now I have like goosebumps right now, and I feel like my heartbeat is like going 100.
From a hotel next door, witnesses saying they could hear screams for help.
This whole building right here is gone, the whole back side of it.
We still have people standing upstairs that don't need to be evacuated.
Rescuers using ladders to reach balconies, getting dozens out of the building, including this young boy pulled out of the rubble. Nicholas Balboa told us he rushed over after hearing what sounded like thunder.
We approached the building and we began to hear, what sounded like somebody yelling and making noise.
You remember what the noise was, what the sound was?
Yeah, somebody saying, help, I'm over here. And they were sticking their hand up through the rubble, waving their arm.
Taking this photo after he helped lead rescuers to a boy, telling firefighters how to reach him.
Just asking, please don't leave me alone. Don't leave me alone.
But tonight there are growing fears for the missing. Police tonight saying 99 people are unaccounted for. Jenny Ergelis telling us over the phone she's been unable to get in touch with her parents, Ray and Mercy.
It's been nonstop phone calls trying to figure out who, if any of the Jane or John Does that have been sent to hospitals are either of my parents. We're not getting any information yet.
Now she's trying not to think of the worst.
I can't believe that this is actually happening. I feel like this is stuff that happens like in a third world country, and this is one of the prettiest cities in South Florida.
The growing mystery here, what caused so much of this massive building to fall to the ground?
I know that the efforts are focused on engineering, that we're looking at what might be concerns with the construction or the condition of the building. We do not have any information at this time to really say.
Tonight we spoke to Surfside's mayor. You run a small town in the spotlight for what no one could imagine.
No, buildings don't fall down in America like this. They don't. They fall down for a reason. We don't know what the reason is, but we'll find out. Today's not that day. Today's the day for saving lives and pulling people out of the rubble, but we will find out why that.
Shalom, all praise, glory, honor, and fear, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Kakadash. That belongs to the elders that came before us, citation to election, the real house of David. And this is really heavy, man, that this building that just straight up collapsed in Florida. And the Lord, he's going to bring down all you guys that are exalted and on high. In the middle of the night, too, it was 1:30. And they're saying that almost 100 people are unaccounted for, are missing. People that obviously died from this. And they don't really have their cause for it. See, because we're living in the times of the judgment of the Lord, and evil men understand our judgment. So we're living in a time of a strange, mysterious destruction, judgment upon the wicked and all those that exalt themselves on high. And all these stories, all the stories, the first 4, second, like the guy was saying, he was just going all the way up to 13. He's like, shit, they all collapsed, man. And it's strange, man. You even asked the question, well, how the hell did this building just straight up collapse like that? You know what I'm saying? And, well, because of the wickedness, man, and because things ain't being really built right. And like that chick was saying, oh, this feels like a third world country. Well, that's what this country is becoming into. It's coming into a third world country. And everything that was made here, right, was made here in wickedness. Nothing's really built correctly. And in the law, it says how you're not even supposed to build above a certain, like 2 stories high. You're not supposed to build anything higher than that. And that's what a lot of people do physically, right? And not just that, but also, guys, in this truth, they actually build up themselves and exalt themselves above the foundation, Yahushai, you see? And Yahushua was lowly. He was of no reputation. You see? When you go to Malachi, chapter 1 and verse, and it's heavy too, because now all of a sudden the internet's not working. I can't use the blue letter Bible, but you know, we're gonna go through a lot, man. The righteous, many are the afflictions of the righteous, but the Lord delivered them from all. And you know, me personally, like, you know, I've found myself in situations where I'm like, oh man, you know, I'm gonna get in trouble or something's gonna happen, and I just commit myself into the Lord. I don't worry about myself. I don't try to save myself or try to like lie my way out of it. I just come with the truth. You know, I just be sincere. I just keep it real. And you know, when you keep it 100, like, the Lord's gonna be with you. He respects that, and He honors that, and He's gonna deliver you out of whatever situation it is. You know, if you find yourself in a pickle, you know, and then all of a sudden the person just finds peace with you, or they give mercy to you. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the case may be. And that's what's gonna happen these last days. The Lord's gonna be merciful unto those that are also merciful. Malachi 1 and 4 says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. And it's heavy because, you know, the guy was saying, the Edomite was like, oh, well, right now we're just trying to save people. Well, we're living in a time now where in Esdras, you're not going to be able to save them that are destroyed, nor to oppress them that have gone their victory. And that's what our people do. They oppress a man in his own heritage, even in his own house. So this world, and even guys in this truth, they oppress the true believers, man, the anointed. And when you go into the word oppress, let me see if I can pull it up. Right, oppression is prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control, you see? So the Lord, He's going to bring judgment upon all this unjust treatment, all this oppression to the righteous. And surely, like the brother's doing in the live Thursday SmackDown, surely oppression does make a wise man mad. So if you're not mad and crazy and like not, you know, and upset with what's going on, what's happening right now, then you're not wise. You're not dealing with wisdom, and therefore the Lord's not dealing with you. And that's why you're unstable in these times. And that's why you're going to fall just like that building, bro. A lot of guys in the middle of the night, mysteriously, how did it even happen? And the only reason and you can come up with at this point is that the Lord did it, man. The Lord is in control of everything. It says, whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith the Lord of hosts. They shall build, but I will throw down, and they shall call them the board of wickedness, and the people against whom the Lord hath indignation forever. So these are all signs of the coming destruction. It ain't going to just be one building. It's going to be buildings, man. See, the Lord has a great consumption He's about to bring to the whole planet. And when you go to Hebrews, it goes into how you can't really build if it's not on Yahushai, because it's what Yahushai is coming back to do. So let me go to Hebrews. Yeah, Hebrews chapter 3 and 4 says, for every house is builded by some man, but he that built all things is God. See, so what the Lord wants to be strong and stay up is going to remain. But those that the Lord wants to break down, destroy, He's going to destroy. And what the Lord say His body is? Your body is your temple. Your body is your house. So we're in a time of men falling, just like that building. says, and Moses verily was faithful in all his house as a servant for a testimony of those things which were to be spoken after. But Yahushua as a son over his own house, whose house are we? And that's why we're still standing. That's why we're the last garrison. We're the last hold of this truth. That are holding it in righteousness, not holding it in unrighteousness or deceitfulness and guile. It says, if we hold fast the confidence and the rejoicing of the hope firm unto the end, you see? So it's not about how you begin, it's all about how you end. It's all about how you finish. And when you go to Luke, the Lord said that. It's all about you finishing your tower. It's all about you finishing and completing your task. Not leaving it half done or partial or lukewarm. And that's why a lot of men are being spewed out of the Lord's mouth. That's why they're not speaking as the Lord spoke. Now when you go to the law, you're basically not supposed to build above 2 stories. You know? This is Luke 14 and verse 27. It says, and whosoever doth not bear his cross and come after me cannot be my disciples. A lot of guys are not bearing their cross and not coming after Yahushua. They're coming after vain things of this world, which everything of this world. The Lord said in Matthew 24, he said, don't you see all these buildings? Guess what? Not one stone shall be left upon the other. So everything's going to be thrown down at the presence of the Lord. And the Lord's going to make everything new. So you have to have the new song. You have to be full of the new wine to be able to stand and withstand these times and get through all these coming destructions and collapses. We're in a collapse of the society, man. That's what we're coming into. It says, for which of you intending to build a tower, sift not down first, see, humble yourself. And even when Yahushua, when he fed the multitudes, he gave the command to his disciples saying, tell everybody, right, the thousands, to sit down first. And then he gave the food to his disciples, and then they dished it out to the sheep, the people. And that was basically the only reason that they followed Yahushua, was because of the loaves of bread and they were filled. That was the only reason, because of the carnal ththings. But to be carnally minded is death. The carnal things has an expiration date. Nothing lasts forever of the carnal, whether it's carnal buildings, physical buildings, whether it's the flesh, whether it's food, you name it, bro. It has a time where it's gonna fall down, it's gonna break, it's gonna pollute, it's gonna die. And that's why the Lord talked about, building yourself up in the spirit, which is eternal, the inner man, and where we earnestly, cry and mourn to the Lord that we may be clothed in our house in the heavens, you see. Luke 14 and verse 28, sit not down first and counteth the cost, which is not going to cost you money. It's going to cost you your life, right? You got to put your whole life into this. You can't buy the Holy Spirit with money. It says, whether he have sufficient to finish it, lest haply after he hath laid the foundation and is not able to finish it, and all that behold it begin to mock him, saying, this man began to build and was not able to finish. So it's all about finishing, man. Being a finisher, a closer. So we're in the spirit right now of being like a closer, like the closing pitcher, the last inning, to strike out the batters that are trying to, that's what we're doing. We're shutting the doors, man. We're shutting this thing up. Says, or what king going to make war against another king sitteth not down first? And that's what's happening. We're of Yahushua, and we're making war against the kings and the exalted of this world. Says, sitteth not down first, and consulteth whether he be able with 10,000 to meet him that cometh against him with 20,000. You see, so there's less of the righteous than there is the wicked. So you have to consult, and you have to make sure that the few that's with you is really with you and with the Lord. and they're willing to die for this truth, just like you are. It says, or else, while the other is yet a great way off, he sent an ambassage and desireth conditions of peace. You see? And we're in a time of war. We're in a time of war. You see? And we're not in a time of peace. See, Lord said in Matthew 10:34, think not that I'm come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. So guys, they're running, but the Lord didn't send them, and they're getting discouraged by the multitudes and the numbers, right? They're looking at this thing carnally, not spiritually. They're not walking by faith, they're walking by their sight. And they're being sent forth for peace. Oh, peace, let's just come to terms, let's say peace. Just like Korah and them, they're waving a deceitful white flag. Forgive your brother, man. Hey, who's our brother? Those that doing the will of the Father. And a lot of guys, you are your father, the devil, man. And it's woe to you guys, man. Elders as well. Says, so likewise, whosoever he be of you that forsaketh not all that he hath, he cannot be my disciple. And that's why the Lord said to Peter, you have to forsake children, family, house, lands. Because these houses, this land is about to be destroyed, man. The Lord said, not one stone shall be upon the other, man. Matthew 24. Matthew 24 and 1, it says, and Yahushua went out, and this is signs of Yahushua's return, man. It says, and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. You see? And right now what's happening is the lively stones, we're hissing out the filthy stones. You see? And what are we saying? The same thing Yahushua said. He said, what? Destroy this temple, and in the third day I'll raise it up again. He was talking about his own body. You see? So we're with the collapses, we're with the sinkholes, we're with the fires and the judgments and people dying. We're with it. The Lord's doing it, man. The Lord's doing it, man. And we are against this world. It says, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Yahushua answered and said unto them, this is what he answered when they asked him about the sign of the world, end of the world. Take heed that no man deceive you, because there'll be many devils, man. And there's a lot, like I was talking to the brothers, demons everywhere, inside and outside the truth, just surrounding us, man. So it's very important that you separate yourself. You cut yourself off from this place, man. You see? You don't join hand in hand with the wicked, or you're going to be just like that building with them. You're going to be in that building with them. You have to leave the building. You have to leave the camp, man. The scriptures say that in Hebrews, forsaking the camp and suffering suffering for Yahushua, man, for the word. Just as Yahushua wasn't accepted of the synagogue and camps and the highly exalted elders and chief priests. Same thing today, man. Isaiah 2 and verse 12. Isaiah 2 and 11 says, the lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the hardness of men shall be bowed down, and Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty, and upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. And upon all the cedars of Lebanon, and that are high and lifted up, and upon all the oaks of Bashan, and upon all the high mountains, and upon all the hills that are lifted up. Whew. And upon every high tower, and upon every fenced wall. Whew. You see, so that's what the Lord is doing, man. He's abasing those that are exalted. And that's what a lot of men do. They exalt themselves, exalt their camp. And they lie, man. They hold the truth in unrighteousness. Yeah, they say, oh yeah, we have the truth. We have the truth. We have the camp. We're the great camp. We're the truth. But really, they hold it in unrighteousness, man. They're not holding it correctly. They're not using this word what's supposed to be used for. It's not supposed to be used for money, for clout, for fame, for subscribers, for likes, for fucking women. It's not supposed to be used for that, man. Matthew 23 and verse 12 says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, and he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So we're humbling ourselves under the hand of the Most High. And we're going to be exalted with him. He's going to exalt us. He's going to raise us up in the last days. So we're being raised up with him in these last days. And that word humble.
Strong's G 5013. Tapainao.
Right. And that word humble makes to make low, bring low. To level. You see, we're balanced. To metaphorically, to bring it to a humble condition, reduced to a meaner circumstances. You see? Assign a lower rank. You see? And that's what Yahushua did. Though he was the second in command in all creation, right? He humbled himself, man. He lowered himself. He humiliated himself. Same thing with us. To be ranked below others who are honored or rewarded. And it's heavy too, because like I was looking at a little like sports and stuff like that, right? Well, it's heavy because you'll have some players, right? They'll make so much money, like $200 million, right? But they're not a good player. Like, they're not winning championships. They're not like really like being productive. They're actually like not even that good. But then you'll have players that are getting like less than $1 million. And these are like some great players. Like, a good story is Scottie Pippen. You know, he was one. You could argue he was the second greatest player in his time. But he wasn't getting paid as much as other players that he was just as good as. You see what I'm saying? It says, to humble or abase myself by humble living. Right? And it's heavy because that's what Moses did. He rejected being called the son of Pharaoh's daughter. And instead, he suffered with his people, esteeming the riches and the glory and the reward of Yahushua greater riches than of Egypt. Same thing today of the riches of America. Ooh, and it says devoid of all haughtiness. So we're devoid of pride. We don't have pride. We're not puffed up. We don't exalt our gate. Because you guys that exalt your gate, and that's exalt means to think or speak very highly of. Proverbs 17 and 19, it says, he loveth transgression that loveth strife. And a lot of guys, they teach Yahushua of contention and of strife. They don't contend for the faith, they contend for their flesh, for themselves, their self-will, their sensual, their devilish. It says, and he that exalteth his gate seeketh destruction. So guys, they're seeking destruction. They exalt in their gate, they exalt themselves, they speak highly, they speak more of themselves. So, and we're in a fight, we're in a war right now, man. That's why you have all these things happening. All these things popping off everywhere. Psalms 144:1, blessed be the Lord my strength, which teacheth my hands to war and my fingers to fight. And it's a spiritual fight. So it's not carnal. It's all in the mind, you see. It says, my goodness and my fortress, my high tower. See, we exalt the Lord. We speak highly of Yahushua. You see, and we don't speak of ourselves. And that's how you know we're of the Lord. Because, like I said in John, you know, he who seeks his own glory doesn't seek the glory of the Lord. We seek the glory of the Lord. It says, my high tower and my deliverer, my shield, and he in whom I trust, who subdueth my people under me. You see, so the Lord, he's doing a marvelous work in this time. Proverbs 18:10 says, the name of the Lord is a strong tower, the righteous runneth into it and is safe. So we're running to the Lord. We're running to the way, the life and the truth. There's a straight gate, a difficult where the path of much resistance is. Where not many, you're not going to find many there, because it's going to be a lonely walk. And that's where the safety is, you know, in the Lord. Not in a bunker, not in a big camp where everybody is. Hey, where everybody is, guess what? That's where all the legions are. That's where the many are. That's where confusion is. That's where the respected person is. We don't really know anybody really who they really are. That's where the fakes and phonies are. You see? Jeremiah 6:27. It says, I have set thee for a tower and a fortress among my people, that thou mayest know and try their way. So we're trying spirits by the Spirit of the Lord, whether of the Most High. And a lot of guys are not. says they are all grievous revolters, walking with slanders. They are brass and iron. You see, cheap metals, reprobate. Not gold and silver, precious, valuable, of value. That's why the Lord he doesn't own, you know what I'm saying? They are all corrupters, you see? Corrupters, man. The Lord's rejecting a lot of guys, man. And a lot of guys is going tumble, just like Humpty Dumpty. Humpty Dumpty, man, right? Mark 12:1. And he began to speak unto them by parables. A certain man planted a vineyard and set a hedge about it and digged a place for the wine fat and built a tower and let it out to husbandmen and went into a far country. And at the season, right, we're at the season right now. We're at a point in time now. He sent to the husbandman a servant that he might receive from the husbandman of the fruit of the vineyard. Receive what? The fruits of the Spirit. Receive mercy, receive love, receive faith, receive judgment, discernment. And they caught him and beat him and sent him away empty. You see? That's why the Lord said the thief comes not before to steal, kill, and destroy. He came that we might have life more abundant. You know? And this is what those of that have the vineyard, that have the truth, that's what they do, the true servants of the Lord. They beat them, they send them away empty, they destroy them, they kill them. They seize on Yahushua, try and take his inheritance. Want to be Yahushua, but not do what Yahushua did. Giving his life for the sheep. Only thing they gonna give you is what? Is a false image of Yahushua and the prophets. And false in the false spirit of the Lord. And lead you the wrong way. Micah 4 and verse 7. I'm sorry, verse 6. It says, In that day, saith Yahweh, will I assemble her that halteth, and I will gather her that is driven out, and her that I have afflicted. You see? So those that have been humiliated, those that have been hated and abased and humbled and humiliated, the Lord's going to gather and assemble and raise up. It says, and I will make her that halted a remnant, and her that was cast far off a strong nation, and the Lord shall reign over them in Mount Zion from henceforth even forever. And thou, O tower of the flock, the stronghold of the daughter of Zion, unto thee shall come, even the first dominion. You see, the first 1,000 years, the first fruits. The kingdom shall come to the daughter of Jerusalem. You see that? And the flock of the Lord's pasture is men, he dwells with them. The men that everyone hates and despises and rejects and casts away as evil. You see? I believe it's Numbers, but you're not supposed to and it's heavy too, because Yahushua was what? A son of the carpenter, which carpentry goes into building, you know, cutting wood, putting things together, building, right? So you have to take heed how every man build thereon. Build upon what? Build upon Yahushua and the apostles, because no other man can lay any other foundation what the Lord has already laid. So a lot of guys, they're actually crucifying the Lord afresh. And that's probably Deuteronomy. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get out of here. I gotta go. I gotta get back in from break, but what a beautiful time, man. And it's all about building in the spirit, you know. And it's heavy too, because the Lord said in Haggai, "There's a time for you to dwell in sealed houses." It's a time for us to dwell in houses made with hands, because the Lord said that in Acts 7. The Lord, he doesn't dwell in temples made by hands. He's not there. So it's all about being in the elements, being outside, you know what I'm saying? Being with the storm, being in the heat, being in the cold, suffering without, you know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I think I got the precept right here too. This is a good one too, though. Deuteronomy 6:10, and it shall be when the Lord thy God shall have brought thee into the land which he swore unto thy fathers, to Abraham, to Isaac, and to Jacob, to give thee great and goodly cities which thou buildest not. You see, so it's the Lord the Lord said in John, right? He said, I go to prepare a place for you. So he said in his house is many mansions. So man, we don't gotta lift a finger. We don't gotta lift a finger. And it's heavy too, because when you go into David, right? The Lord said to David in Chronicles, also in Samuel, because David wanted to build him a house, a temple. But the Lord was like, nah, I'm not gonna let you do that because you have too much blood on your hands. So David was slaying the wicked, man. He was a killer, in righteousness though. Because that was the Lord's weapon, just like we are, not through the Spirit. But he couldn't build because he had too much blood. So he had Solomon build it, you see? So for those who are in the Spirit, Solomon Yahushua, the Prince of Peace, right? So now it's not gonna be a carnal kingdom, right? It's gonna be an everlasting kingdom, because Solomon's kingdom only lasted like 40 years. And then it fell because of the division, Now this place is divided and it's falling. So it's a beautiful time we're living in, man. And you gotta be grateful and thankful for every day you wake up and all the deliverances the Lord is wrought for us in these times, man, because it's getting really evil. And, you're gonna stumble, you're gonna mess up, you're gonna, get bruises, right? But it's all about you learning that lesson, right? Easy way or the hard way, and getting back, brushing yourself off and getting back up stronger, and not letting up, not giving up, not slowing down, just keeping a continual pace, pacing yourself. It's just like, a long distance running, all those things. But I can't really get this precept of the law where it says, you're not supposed to build above I always have trouble finding this precept, but you're not supposed to build above like 3. Oh, I think I got right. That's spirit. I got it. That's spirit. Right before I'm about to go back on break. Yeah, Deuteronomy 22. That's a spirit. We will close off here. Deuteronomy 22 in verse 8 says, when thou buildest a new house, then thou shalt make a battlement for thy roof, that thou bring not blood upon thine house, if any man fall from thence. You see, so this land is defiled, man, and this land is guilty of the blood of many, man, of the death of many, because they build so high, they exalt themselves carnally, right? Physically in their carnal buildings, and also within themselves. So that's mad heavy, bro. Deuteronomy 22 and 8. That's heavy, bro. That's really heavy, man. Yeah, with that, all praise, glory, honor, and fear. How about Shem Yahshai, by Shem Hakadash. Hey, above all destruction, demise, all you exalted, all you lofty and proud and arrogant. And you humble, man. You humble in the Lord. You're gonna be exalted and glorified with the Lord. You'll be raised up and delivered from all this trouble and destruction. Hey, shalom.